Today, we're going to talk about, you've got an estimate, what comes next. Hi, I'm Chad Johnson. I'm with Truss Components, and I've been in the truss industry for over 35 years. This video today may apply a little bit more to truss components than every truss supplier generically, because I'm going to talk about how our ordering process works. So we want to make it as smooth and hassle-free as possible. And so here we go with what happens now that you have an estimate. Okay, so you have your estimate, everything looks good, and you're ready to move forward. The first thing that I'll have you do is reach out to your sales representative, and they'll have a couple of questions for you, something along the lines of, what is the status of your project? It might be that you're just getting ready to get your permit and you need design drawings for that. Maybe you already have your permit in hand, and so we just need to talk about the next steps. Maybe your foundation is in, or maybe the framing is about to start. And so we'll need to find out what the status is so that we can accurately determine when you'll actually be ready for trusses. So the next step, after we've talked about what the status of the project is getting the payment method worked out ahead of time. So we accept many different forms of payment, from checks to ACH to credit card to cash, whatever works easier for you. In some cases, if you're going to be doing multiple projects, it makes sense to set up a credit account. But before we move any further, we need to get that portion of the project figured out, and that way it won't slow things down later. Once we've got the details worked out, such as the status of the job and the payment method, then we're going to talk about the delivery address. So we'll need a complete delivery address, a cross street to make sure that we don't map to the wrong address, and we will get a site contact so that our driver has someone to talk with on the day of delivery. Best to have a phone number and an email address along with the name. And we'll talk about any concerns such as power lines, trees, steep driveways, sharp turns, stuff like that that could make it difficult for our large truck to get into the job site and unload. 90% of the time, we can get, I would say 99% of the time, we can get any issues worked out well in advance, and we have a very good track record of getting the trusses onto the project and onto the walls, just so long as we get all the information well in advance. So at this point, we have a whole bunch of information about the project, and we're going to verify that the details that we have about the building are correct. So your sales representative will ask you questions like, are we okay to build exactly per plan? Are there any changes that have been made that might not be reflected on the blueprints? Oftentimes when we do our estimate, we might only have a partial or preliminary plan, so we'll ask to have you provide the most current set of plans, preferably the plans that were approved by the local jurisdiction, and that way we know that we have all of the correct and most current information. After we have a discussion about whether everything is exactly per plan, it may be determined that we need to come out and make a site visit. That could be at an additional charge, but it's much better to have a site visit if necessary and get any final details worked out before we actually go into truss production. Once we know that all of the design details are correct, then we will send a purchase agreement to you for your signature, and that is your authorization for us to produce the trusses or walls, whichever product it is that we're providing for you, per the drawings that we have produced. So if you have any questions about the paperwork that we provide you, we're happy to talk through that with you and make sure that you understand exactly what you're getting. As we're approaching your delivery date, you'll receive communication via email confirming the approximate date that we have set up for your delivery. And then a couple of days or the day before your delivery, you'll receive a phone call from our shipping manager to pin down a time of day or a window when we'll be making that delivery. On the day of delivery, you'll be responsible to provide an assistant to help us offload the trusses. We'll use our equipment to do the heavy lifting. We just need some help for unhooking chains and that sort of thing as we're offloading the trusses or walls. And so our shipping manager will have confirmed with you that you're going to have someone on site. And we look forward to seeing you out there with the trusses or walls that we're providing and helping you get your structure put together quality, quickly, and hassle-free. Thanks for watching this video. If you would like more detail on how to ensure a successful order and delivery, I've got this video up here on how to order and prepare for delivery for trusses. We look forward to working with you on this and your next project.